Very nice, very nice. Yes, 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 yes. 61. 61. I miss entries. Can I commandeer one of these guys here? 3001. Let's see. Oh, huge. Oops. Hello, unknown. Excuse me. My God. I'm okay. I'm okay. How are you? It has been a while. That's good. Oh man. Anyways, yeah. I hope you've been drawing still, or like enjoying life. I hope. Drawing or not drawing, you know. That's good. Keeping busy. I don't know where the colors go. Hello, you get me? Struggle continues. I'm trying to figure out what else I can do here. I need to add more shapes, I think. I don't know what the shapes look like. Always great. Yes, I hope so too, Egan. Very big project, main purpose to help some people. Well, I think that's very noble of you if the goal of the project is just to help people. Yeah, of course, if you like. Yeah, it has been a while, for sure. Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. It's gonna take a while to kick into gear, oh my god. Separate problems, I imagine. Oh my god. I think I'm stuck on two things. I think I want more colors, more hue, and more set, slightly more. And I need shapes. Neither of which I'm quite sure what's happening. Interesting. Did it do anything? Oh, sorry. Wrong lane. Swear to God. Sure, I know. But I'll ask that you keep your advertising off of the stream, please. There's a dedicated channel on Discord for you to do it. Where in the bloody hell is my layer? What is that? Right, sure. No, it's not explicitly stated, but I do think that it should be kept off of the stream. Anyways, don't worry about it. What's wrong with my... why is it doing this? Come on. Yeah. I didn't explicitly. I forgot what I put in the YouTube site nonsense, but generally, I would expect that there is a you know, people tend to at least ask first before they start doing it. But I'm not blaming anyone or anything. Just in general, I feel like just keep it on the Discord side would be fine. Don't worry about it. Shit, my throat has like a bunch of shit stuck. My art is also kind of stuck. Everything is kind of stuck. Oh my god. What am I doing here? I mean, but this sequence, this color is... Do I want it to melt the... If you're painting anything, I need to decide the source, right? Source would be only reflect the light from the sides. That would be the only source. Actually, I kind of do have this for it, but... 34? Oh. 34. No, that's all good, Unknown. There's no offending going on here. You don't have to worry about that. It's like, you know, whether if I put it in the rules or not. I think, like, you know, you did something. I had some opinions on it. I talked about it. That's kind of it. There's like no offending going on. It's just like having a conversation, you know. Like it's I feel like yeah, like I don't know, man. Like sometimes on the internet, I'm not saying about like not talking about you guys in particular or anything else, but like just in VR chat or something, like some people cannot communicate properly, and it's very difficult. Because any form of sort of confrontation may or may not be seen as just like fighting, and then people don't really talk about how they feel, and then they like bottle it up, and then when it's too late, or when it gets to the point where it explodes, it's like too late, and no one ever has like a good conflict resolution. Everybody is just 0 or nothing. Like I want like everything or nothing. Like it's just like kaboom. It's fine. You know. No, like, yeah, you know, you want something, you ask for something, you do something, right? And then people like it, don't like it, have a conversation about it, and then that's the end of that, right? There's like no need for things to get out of hand. I have no idea where the light source is coming from. I think that's my problem here. I have no idea what's happening. Because that should be light, maybe that shouldn't be light. I don't know where the light's coming from. Maybe instead I do direct on the shoulders or something. But then there'll be nothing here. Right, food poisoning. I bought like this cake looking thing from like a Vietnamese restaurant. It's not really a restaurant, they don't have a place for people to sit. It's just like a takeout place, but like they had these cakes that were like outside, I don't know for how long, presumably only for 1 day. That was 2 days ago. I bought it, I left it outside for like 24 hours, I put it in the fridge, and then I took a bite today. And it was okay. I ate it like, I don't know, like quite a while ago, so I'm guessing I'm not getting any food poisoning, but definitely possible, I think. It could have been the thing. Oh, God. Am I getting any light anywhere? Like this is hello the virus. Like, I'm not trying to say like I'm perfect at communicating, but then I feel like there are way too many things that are not being put up like to talk about sometimes. The commission thing as well, like the reason why like the first one didn't work out is because I think there were a lot of hidden stuff. I was asking this question about certain things that they have already made, and for some reason they refuse to answer it. Like they're not just not answering the question, they're ignoring the question completely. I had to ask them 6 times. Right, and this is after paying deposit money. This is not like just a random like cold call kind of thing. That I understand, right? You don't want to talk to anyone and give out all your information. So I'm like, yeah, what's your problem? You know, like if you don't want to tell me, just tell me that you don't want to tell me. That's fine too. Right? Like you need time to find the answer. That's fine too. Like you're just ignoring me after I'm paying you. Like that makes 0 sense. But anyways. Would there even be any light on any part of the body, right? Because this is entirely from the back. Right, I think on stream I had a few times where I had issues with like understanding sarcasm or something. It's a slightly different sort of, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing at all. I have to think about this lighting situation. I feel like there should be light. I just don't know where from. Like I'm seeing, so this one here has like nothing almost. I guess it's a bit of a big gradient, and then like just oh, maybe I can try that. Oh, I do. What do I do? I don't know what that is. If I had no idea what that is. I'm just trying to add something that looks fine. I don't need it to be anything in particular. I don't need it to even be that great. It just has to be something. Also, the Lego thing, I haven't been following. I'm just aware that it's a thing. Unknown. Anyway, I think they're just digging their own grave or something. I don't know what they're doing. And like for a company that size, like the money that they're dealing with is not even worth the trouble. Like why are they doing this? I don't understand. Often see. Oh yeah, sorry. Actually, I found the reference I was thinking of. This artist here. So actually, you know what? Let me just. Specifically, I was should I rage bait? Specifically, I was looking at. Shit, where is the artist? Hang on. This was the one that I remembered. This is the one that's in my art map, where I remember seeing this like very strong sort of skin glow around the hair. This in and of itself is not that sort of unique. I think a lot of people do this around for the hair around the face. But I'm just thinking of the fact that you can kind of go a little bit more. There's also the other artist that did Man, kind of hard to. I forgot what the name is, but if you like just search Arknights art or something, they always come up. I remember in the past, but this person has a lot of this vibe. Most of this stuff has this sort of big giant glow kind of feel. I'm gonna eat the. Yeah, I mean, this thing isn't a problem. This thing is easy because it's an airbrush at the end. The problem is with all the individual forms in the middle, but I don't know what to do with this. My problem is with the fact that there is no strong lighting. But like some of these things, these scenes here, like where is the lighting coming from even? Like this is just flat, right? This part, this is just one glow. Sorry, one airbrush, one big gradient. What am I even looking at here? What am I looking at here? This is like this lady's legs. Oh, like both of her legs? Like where's the rest of her body? Like what? What is this? What is that? I don't know what I'm looking at. But sorry, give me a second. The music ended. My God. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know what's happening and what I'm just trying to get here for the tone. Get here for the tone. Get like trying to do. Anyways, the glow is just a giant layer at the end, I think. Like this thing here. I think that would be fine. We can add that in at the end. And it should probably be at the end because there are gonna be lines here that I'll probably repaint. And I would like the glow to go over everything. That's kind of how glow works. It kind of has to be over everything for it to work. It might have like a slightly more gentle. Like this is a little bit too lumpy because I did it manually, but if you just compile everything in the bag and just glow everything at once, it should be fine. The problem is just purely what's happening here to define the forms, you know. I can only guess that there's some kind of a bottom lid kind of situation from like all of these bed sheets reflecting light, but we'll do our best. We try. We try. There we fail. Let me try again. Yeah, I'm just not drawing the nipples so I can get away with it. Although I don't know if there's a big difference. Light is kind of reflected everywhere. Unknown, you're absolutely right. I think the problem is, I mean, it's just like every other lighting situation. Light is always reflected kind of everywhere. The problem is what you choose to represent. Right? Like you're trying to represent only like a small subset of it because it takes forever to render everything like a 3D engine. The problem with this one is just that I think the lighting scenario is kind of I'm not very familiar with it. In addition to the fact that the values I'm allowed to use is very minimal. I cannot do too much value change because otherwise it's gonna be too bright or something. It's gonna look too weird. The light source is very weak here. So there's like all of these things. What am I talking about? Anyways, I don't know where the shit is. Right, if it's just purely bottom, right? If we ignore this part here, I guess it would be a little bit more this way. So like, Goo Goo Gaga, maybe like here instead of the. Yeah, and then coupled with the fact that I do want like hard edges, it makes it kind of hard. I don't know where to commit. Broski. That's the... I mean, here would definitely be dark, right? Everything here would be kind of... Yeah, where's the light coming from even? I'm sitting in the blanket. It would be like this way down and then on back up like this, because like everything here is behind her. On this side it might be in front, but it would be pointing outwards. But I guess maybe some along this edge would go in. So maybe like here-ish. Come out, and then over here, I don't know. Maybe this is too dark and gray. Because theirs is similar, right? This is a similar situation. The skin and then the clothing, which is originally what I'm assuming is white. This should be what we have right here. So maybe I should bump up the no, but their background is much brighter than ours. Where is the... Yeah, we only like 60-70 value for like the background. Theirs is like pretty much pure white. But that is true, right? Like if you take a photo as well, there is high dynamic range, but then if we ignore that for a second, if you focus on the white part, the bright part, the parts in the shadow will naturally be really hard to see. But we want best of both worlds, we want to be able to see both sides. I'm gonna go to the washroom, I'll be right back. Yes, thank you, Igami. Yeah, way more colorful than others. Yeah, don't worry about it, Unknown. You can always hop in and out as you like. Thank you for coming. Yeah, no worries. Absolutely. The stream is pretty boring by default, by design. Work is pretty boring. Yeah? Wait. It's meant to be brighter? No. I'm blind to all these colors. See how it feels if I make it brighter like this. It's the same. I don't know. I guess it is a little bit more... but the bedsheets don't look white, right? They look kind of dirty. I think the problem is that the bedsheet being so gray and green and all that. The problem is because they're meant to be white. So if they're that color, it implies that the lighting scenario calls for this color. But yet the character seems like the character's colors are not affected by the same kind of shit. So the white bedsheets don't look white anymore. They just look dirty. Whatever shift is on there should be shifted for everything. So if I just... What if I just suck out all the colors? But it's so unnaturally uncolored, right? What about this? What the? What the fuck? How do we end up with stupid shit like this, dude? How is this possible? It's not intentional. What is wrong with my Clip Studio, dude? Just get a disco ball in the corner? Why does it even look like this? I guess it's got two disco balls overlapped. Yo, Clip Studio is cursed. Does this happen to anyone else? Well, I remember we got some cursed shit going on before too. I forgot what was happening back then. Yeah, that's interesting, I guess. God. A nightlight, huh? All I wanted was the front to be so dark and so quiet and like so sleepy. But then I think it was too dark. It was so hard to see. But like is that a color issue? Is that a value being too low issue, or is it just because I cannot paint the shapes, you know, I guess. Either way though, I don't feel I could continue with that. Maybe we can use this to continue and add some more shapes and then try to go back for something. I don't know, try to do something else. My screen is getting DDoS. The nightlight. That is interesting. I think she probably would. I think you're probably right. Doesn't look very good color. It almost feels like there shouldn't be like any, but no, there should be shapes. There should be something here. It's just that if we have the lines, I guess we can get away with not having it. Without the lines, right, it would be too colorful at the bottom. Why is it here? Oh. What color was this one? It's a pretty red though. It's pretty red. What's the lighting setup here? Backlit? Oh my god. Hardcore skill issue. Holy mother of all skill issues. I think physically setup-wise there is no difference like what I need to do. I need to have shapes. Like the shapes I wanted to paint on the body is no different regardless of the values, right? Because the lighting situation is the same. But then I think the previous one was so dim and the contrast was so low that it was kind of hard to see what I was doing at all on my tablet. So it was kind of hard to paint just for that reason, at least. And then I guess I may or may not agree with the specific lighting, like the specific values and colors that was used. This one here doesn't have that same sort of front and back separation kind of vibe. But I suppose we could always push the back a bit higher. And then now at least I can see what's happening in the foreground. Oh, mispicked. Just wanted a big square. Because I can still push it up, right? We can still set the separation up. And then maybe if I still want this orange or like whatever saturated color to be super duper strong, I could just have this part singled out. Or even use like red instead over here. Oh no, that's the... Like this is still an option. This way my stuff in the front... Oh, but then the stuff in the front feels like it's a little bit too dark again. I think it's this idea like the white bed sheets shouldn't ever get this dark. I think it's kind of somewhere in my head I think that. So when the value is set up like this, when there's enough contrast between front and back, I feel like the bed sheets are too dark. Doesn't look like they're white anymore. But if I do it to say some level where I think it's bright enough, it feels like it is not got that original setup that I want. And this is still kind of interestingly nice and quiet. Still kind of works. Does it work? The bed sheets? Oh man, everything is kind of affecting everyone else. I feel like it's kind of hard to get a good feel for this. Okay, I'm kind of stuck. I'm just gonna go look for some references. I have no idea what to do right now. This one I thought was... I mean, this is what we have, kind of. It's just that the values are not as saturated as I would like. So I guess what I'm looking for isn't necessarily realistic, then. Something more artsy, I guess. How do I even get started with the search now? I need to try to bump myself over. Maybe this maybe this could work. Let me try and get the values and see how it goes. Oh, you know what? Let's... Wait, what? Oh wait, is it Alt G? Control Alt Shift G. Shit. What was it? Ah, there we go. Right, should be darker too. So let's just set it over here. They should be providing. Trying to look at the so the ref is quite similar here, this one. Some kind of white, some kind of skin color, some kind of brown hair. Everything is in shadow. I'm checking for the value differences because I wanted to set it up correctly where the skin is actually darker than the white, right? Because skin is like you know, skin color. Well, that could be kind of controversial depending on where I said that, but it should not be pure white, so the value will be darker. But then over here, like, the setup isn't enough. It feels like the shadow, the parts of the skin that's in shadow, or it's just the parts of the bed sheet that's in shadow, doesn't seem to have enough of a difference here. Does it have enough of a difference? 38 to 41, that's like 3 points of difference. I guess ours might actually have more. We have 4 points of difference. Holy shit. Oh my god, dude. Unbelievable. We're like 33% more different. But in any case, if I don't have anything here, this would be right. This would be a little bit too dark. I mean, I could have it regardless, but the hair would have to be darker, which is maybe perhaps also necessary regardless. I'm not sure. Mayhaps. Oh man, hard. But the values look slightly better now, I think, just because I am comparing against this ref. And if we want everything to be darker, still, then I guess I can just push it down afterwards. And then do all the colors again. For fuck's sake. Anyways. That's like some kind of like a warm-up or some kind of a cache that it has to be built whenever I start a stream. Last stream, when we were ending, I felt like we were gonna definitely be able to get something great, you know, like, but now I'm like not so sure. But as I'm working on this, I'm gaining a little bit more confidence that it's possible. Mossy blue. The inner fur here should technically be brighter than skin, I think. But it's also kind of tricky because it's a bit catching a little bit more light, I would think. Because it's not tucked away inside here. Speaking of tucked away, I think I need to... Oh, that's not right. Maybe like this. I do want the core to be darker, right? Regardless. I don't know where the light is coming from necessarily, but it just feels like it should be like that somehow. It's a little bit ridiculous. Kind of hard to see on the inside here, which is what I think we need to paint, right? I mean, we could just let the lines do the work. Mostly all the ambient occlusion, I guess, like in between all the... Well, kind of. But there's also outline that we kind of want to capture. But okay, regardless, let me see. How do I feel about this? Let me put this across beside everything else. The bed sheets are still kind of like oddly colorful, I think. On this part is a bit too colorful. I might want to reset the color. But is this better now? That's the question. How do I even compare it? There's like so many over here. Can't even see shit. So like these guys, so at a glance, right? The ones in the beginning, they're way, like, it's like way more silhouetted. The silhouette is so much stronger. Which is what I wanted. But I think if we're really doing something like that, then maybe all the colors would actually just be flat. Then maybe it would actually just be flat colors. With just big gradients on it. And then at most, like very minor amount of ambient occlusion. Trying to sort of really eke out some of the edges. I think that would be one play. Or if we want to have a bit more rendering, then I guess the silhouette would have to be a bit weaker because by definition, this is a white bed sheet, right? And the background is kind of bright. And it's supposed to catch some light, so there's no way it would have that much contrast. It would be that dark. To do something like this. This is also kind of interesting. I like the fact that the body shape is so clear inside here. Actually, maybe this could go darker, perhaps. Or like maybe the bedsheet should be brighter. Actually, I think the skin kind of hit its limit. Let me see if I can. Let me bring it back. Color. Hello. Right here. So yeah, this is so high contrast. I don't know what to think of it. Yeah, kind of interesting. This kind of works. This one kind of works in my head. It still feels like it can work. I just don't know what to render. But maybe like I'm not supposed to render. Mayhaps. These guys are basically the same idea, right? And this is like the strongest and best execution of it. Character value. So I think the problem is this, right? If I want some kind of setup like this, where the contrast is really strong, I cannot have light coming into the scene in the foreground because it is a white bed sheet. So if light comes in, it would probably light it up quite a bit, and we cannot get this contrast difference, right? Because white is so reflective and it's so bright. If any light from the back comes to the front, and the front is the brightest and the most reflective material on scene, then, or just in general, then there is no way this contrast can exist. So the only way that this value setup can happen is if there is no light coming in at all. In which case, we are not really, there's not much to render anymore, right? Because we can only render when there's light coming in. But then what are we seeing then, right? Like, then what is it that we're seeing? We're still seeing light. There must be some amount of bounce light. But yeah, anyways, I think this value could work, but then that means no rendering for the front. Where's the thing that I put in? Or we can do this, and this is also pretty nice. White bed sheet. I need to sort out the colors, but the white bed sheet and then everything else. The sky is that color. I want the bed sheets to be slightly desaturated. Let me try the colors again. Now that the values are kind of there. I don't want it to be so colorful. It should carry some of the hue and saturation, but it should be... Oh my god. It's not quite even. If I evenly turn it down like this, it's not very... Or maybe it should be kind of blue. Should it be kind of blue? Let's do 9. I want to push this guy's up as well. That's color. Maybe now it's too bright. That's just the shape, right? Because everything else is taken. Desaturating it. Let's try the other route, which is to saturate it a little bit more, I think. Well, not more necessarily, but just a I think balance this out, because I think the shadows are a little bit... Oh, I think it's because they're both the same set of hues, right? It's all the sort of green, blue into purple kind of vibe, into purple, red. There's not enough of a distinction. Everything is blue, and then this guy... but if this guy desaturates, is exactly kind of what we're feeling now. We can't desaturate anyways, because it's going to... look weird, like... eat this out, please, and then let me... what can I even do here? What the... Question mark? It's even brighter. Even more skill issue. Let's see values real quick. Well, where is it? This guy, right? Let me see if I can then pull everything down. I just keep making more versions. Yeah. Until I'm satisfied. Holy shit. We're gonna be here for a while. If today is if I'm not gonna find anything like soon in like the next hour or something, I might spend the rest of the time doing like a sketch or doing like a study and do something else so we can cleanse the palette a little bit. Like this thing is a... may or may not be a problem. What was the other thing I wanted to do? Shit. Yeah, you got me. You don't have to worry about your goldfish memory. Holy shit, what was I just doing? I wanted to do a version of something. I forgot what that was. Only the biggest brains here. Yeah. Isn't this already in here? Is it not that? But with more color? Wait, what? So is this? Anyways, I don't think I need this. Yeah, it's just the values here are kind of wonky. It's what? This one here. I mean, I could just take this out. It's just like the values are exactly the same here, and that doesn't make a lot of sense. So the skin here should be even darker. What? Could it be even darker? Yes, Igami, of course, exactly. You get it. Lamau. Oh my god, sometimes I just go into the toilet and just start screaming. I think it's kind of funny. Only when I'm showering though, so like you can't hear it. I think I sigh a little bit too much at work. But it's not like I'm sighing because like I'm disappointed or anything, like, or like necessarily frustrated. I'm just like, sometimes when I think about something, I just kind of forgot to breathe. And then my body will sort of gasp for air for a little bit. But it's a little loud. I start to realize that I want to control it a little bit. Yeah, you just kind of... and then every so often from my desk. God. Bloop, 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 bloop. How am I this bad? How the fuck? This is how it is, I guess, right? Or maybe I just fucking suck balls? Is this how our progression is like? You know, you're just like struggling all the time. I feel like we've already like had so much like of the heavy lifting done for us, right? The background, the setup, everything is already done for us. And the one thing that I'm here to do is just sort out the colors, not even for the entire canvas, just half of it. And I still can't do it. Let's fucking suck stick. Goddamn. I think it's gotten a bit better though. I think it's gotten better, but like, no. Yum yum yum. Let me just try some big gradients on the hair too. It's kind of nice. Nice and soft. The wolf has bad perspective, I think. I'm feeling it a little bit more now. But let's ignore that for now. Did I say ignore that for now? I mean like ignore it forever? Like I'm ever gonna fix that. Come on. Okay. How about you get some gradient too? Everybody gets gradient. Let's just gradient everything. I'm sure that would help. I didn't even change anything, but... There you go. No, maybe that part's fine. Maybe it's this part. No, actually, maybe it's kind of okay. Oh, but softfly already gets affected by the... Oh, I see. I guess we don't necessarily need it. Because if the underlying color has gradient, then the lines already kind of follow that. So that's fine, I suppose. I suppose. Now what? I guess the body would need a little bit of yeah, ambient occlusion and stuff like that. We could also put in the scars. Let's just do what we can do, right? So I might as well use this. Let's do what we can do. We go as far as we possibly can. After that, hey, wait, is there what? What am I selecting here? What color should I use? Actually, no, it doesn't matter. I just adjust it down later. Is the music really soft? I just realized. I think maybe it's about normal, right? Oh, YouTube's asking about how are your recommendations today? So they changed the algorithm again then. Oh, they're about to change it. Why else would they ask this? 200%. I see. That's how you know it's me. No imposters. What am I looking at? Oh. It's correct. Does it turn down so aggressively? I don't know. Are you feeling better today, Igami? You can tell I'm starting to not like what I'm doing if I start talking about. But I usually don't talk. We're 1.5 hours in, dude. Holy shit, dude. Oh my god. My mind is starting to escape. It's trying to be like, oh shit. I wonder how Igami's doing on his health and commission. Not as bad as yesterday, I see. Progress. Wow. Look at that. Technically speaking, we are also making progress. Dang, dude. Look at that. Isn't life beautiful? Oh my god. Yes, of course, Igami. No problem. Of course. Oh my god. Unbelievable. Yoink, yoink. It's okay, guys. One day this will all be worth it, right? Of course, of course, of course. Absolutely. Never a doubt. Hello, Uni. Is simply start enjoying without too much stress, not a cope. I mean, to be fair, I've experienced it with at least the sketching, you know. So it's out there. Getting there is a different issue, of course. But the truth is out there. So is the goal. As the dwarves say. PC broke again. Oh, right, the Windows issue before, right? It was Windows issue before. Well, what's the story this time? Let's see. What's broken? What did Microsoft do this time? What did Bill Gates do with his bajillion dollars? He's like, destroy Uni's PC. What should I do with all this money? I don't know. Let's destroy this one person's PC. Oh, can't even boot the OS. Maybe it's a hardware issue then. Can't even boot the OAF. That is kind of extreme though. If you can't... How is it possible that you can... How is it possible to not be able to boot even just by updating? As incompetent as people can be, I think I'm sure they have a lot of automated testing for that. The fact that that can even happen somehow feels... Well, something got corrupted? But it must be localized to just your stuff. Otherwise it would be like a big news. Hardware failure leading to Yeah, I was actually kind of scared because I turned off my updates for like 2 months and I forgot to keep extending it, and I updated one night and I was like, yeah, fuck, if it doesn't turn on tomorrow. But I turned on tomorrow. Now looking at this color scheme, look at that. Like she's in it's like some weird like fluorescent, like glow in the dark bioluminescent pond or something. Okay, this is much better, right? Like progress. But few more issues, right? We try to fix it, of course. Get good. Eat. I messed up this time, yeah. Ooh. Very sketch. My image of Microsoft has always been pretty good, like the company's image in my head. Because like Well, Programmers is like one of the best companies, right? Not just best in like because it's like Fang or like manga. What's the acronym now? I forgot, but also because like it's apparently pretty chill. You can go in and kind of chill and this and that. But then they also laid off, like they recently laid off like 8,000 people. And then their OS doesn't even work properly half the time. They're trying to push a bunch of AI nonsense. This and that. Right. I do remember that. Everything gets more poo-poo. La poo-poo. Oh man. So many brain rot shit that's in my head. Living rent-free. There's this 11-second AI generated video of like la boo-boos in like toilets, and then like it just overflows, and then they call it la poo-poo. If you search la poo-poo, it probably comes up. My parents just look at it. Oh my god, I don't know why it just pops up in my head once in a while. There's a mental illness at this point. Holy shit. Need help. Where did I put my... Wait, sorry, what is this? Oh, this is the line. Okay. Stupid. Where is it? This guy. No, not this guy. This guy. And this guy. This guy and this guy. Yeah, okay. I got all the guys here. Nice. Now what? I'll try to do what we can, right? So that means... this is a stupid thing that I keep running into, is that I like clear edges and I like clear shapes and this and that. But like if you just let me paint, I can't paint the shapes well because I don't know what kind of shapes I like. So it's a lot easier to paint with like marker brushes because you're just hinting at ideas, right? You're hinting at the form instead of committing to it. But then if I do that for the entire canvas and I only use marker for that to do the color rough, it's of such a pain, yes, to find the edges afterwards. So I guess it's the same thing. It's the same as that issue. Right now I can use markers to paint it, but I still have to find the edges. I'm still gonna feel like it's a pain in the ass. Anyways, thank you for the daily. Let me take a look. Over here. No, over here, please. Wow, it's like so Korean. Following? Oh. Sorry, what? GG's? Wait, where's my Discord? Oh, okay. Alright, here we are. Wait, are you hopping off, Igami? If so, see you soon. Of course. Big lady with big axe. The face doesn't really fit though, I feel like. It's it looks so young. Like with the physique and the proportion, it looks a little bit off. No, Igami, I'm not. It's probably the subtitles. If you saw that in the subtitles, the subtitles is rage baiting people. Is gaslighting people because it has a tendency to hallucinate that one specific phrase. Thank you for coming. Oh, I see. Wow, it translated thank you uni into thank you for dailies. Thank you for today or something. I cannot say thank you at all because it just thinks I'm ending the stream. Great. Perfect. I like the axe though. The axe is a very interesting rendering. It's got like hard edges and stuff. Oh, it looks pretty nice. Yeah, this is a... Sorry, let me find out why I follow them. Is this the pin? No, that's not the pin. They don't have a pin. Okay, let me see why I follow them. What for? Maybe this one? I remember seeing this, but I guess I didn't ping this. Wait, what? I guess they're not actually Korean because like Korean name talking to a Korean account, very clearly Korean account, but instead using English. So yeah, I don't know which one I bookmarked. I'm sure I bookmarked something. Couldn't possibly have been that long ago, I don't think. Oh, okay. I misread the face. I thought the dude was a hell yeah, not like scared. You're ending with thank you for everything. Yes. What was the thing that Korone said? Korone said, I am Dai, thank you forever. Shit, it's been so long since I watched any VTubers. Big strokes, big shapes, colors. That, and then texture, that, and then texture, so it's just that. Yeah, if you just like don't care too much, use a bunch of texture brushes and find edges later. So the problem now is finding the edges, I think. I think I should do some studies with like what Duvet does. You take a photo or take anything and then you break down into just 2 or 3 values. It forces you to stylize the shapes. Because we can take a photo, we can take references, and we can just use markers to get the colors, like make it colorful even. As long as the reference is there, I can do that. But finding the edges is driving me insane, I think. And then I'm misunderstanding this symptom as I need to see clear edges, and the method of like getting the color setup was wrong. Or like it's not as natural. Or rather not as suitable. I think that's not the case. I think it is suitable. It's just that I don't have the mental library for the shapes. Because we have all the rough values now, I still have to find the shapes. Because I'm seeing, yeah, look at all the brush strokes, right? It's like you can do any number of texture brush, any type of brush, soft edges, hard edges. Just get all the colors in the rough spot and then pick local color and just paint, right? And just find the edges. And that would be so natural, because then you have every single color that you need on the canvas, exactly in the right area they need to be, in the correct balance they have to be in. My screen is constantly going black, by the way. I cannot see anything. I cannot see anything. My god. Hoggers, though. Oh, this is all pretty old. Sorry. I was looking for the thing, and I kind of just landed here, and then I just kind of stopped thinking. I don't know which one I bookmarked. So I cannot see my screen. Oh my god, stop. Naked. I'm curious how long this took, because this kind of feels like the Hong Kong thing I want to do, right? Like where you have like basically fully illustrated pieces that's trying to tell a story. Ideally, be able to do so without having to write any words. Although I'm not limiting myself to not being able to write words, to only being using illustrations. But wait, but this doesn't necessarily feel like it's. Man, I'm sure it's still taking quite some time. These I can stamp in, I can stamp in, you can stamp in. This I need to adjust in, but after stamping, that's also fine. General shapes is just squares. They don't necessarily have a lot of weird building shapes. Like in real life, you have like round shapes and this and that. Mostly squares. Over here, right, which is just... Oh, color jitter. That's interesting. No, color jitter is pretty good for glitch effects, I guess. Laying on top. Anything else is... probably still like 10 hours of work or something, even if you know what you're doing. This looks so straight, but at the same time, it's not fully even, right? This is all hand-drawn? Without a ruler? Is that what I'm seeing? This is... Because this feels kind of slightly bent, but everything else is still pretty straight. Oh, look at that. Dang, this is so pop. Look at the colors too. I like the colors. Even textures on the bracelet here, the wrist. Like, I don't know what this is called. Guess whatever connector this is. This is clear. This one has some... this noise is very specific. It's not on the... It's not over here. It's only here. And it's clearly across all the shapes, right? So it's not just because like it's the initial big brush strokes, it is added in afterwards. Really good at implied detail. I see. Implied detail. I'm pausing here because I am trying to... The implied detail in my head is it's kind of like you have like foliage or something, and then you draw some of the leaves in the front, right? So that the back part, even if you don't draw it, it looks very it looks like there's a lot of stuff. I feel like some of the things here, I guess it's just, I mean, it is implied, right? Because they're not fully rendering it, but it looks like it's something. So it's like a slightly different, so in my head, it feels like it's a slightly different type of implying detail. Because there was never anything that was painted super strict in the first place. They were just like all sort of random lines here and there, but they're still implying detail. Whereas the other one that I'm thinking of, you have some shapes that are fully painted out in the front. And then when it goes to the back, you just get lazy with bigger and blur shapes. Same idea, but like different execution, I guess, of executing. Did I? Oh, Right. Okay. I think I see this a little bit clearer now. I need to get the black and white studies done more. So I get the shapes in my head and I lock them in. And then when I fully come in and paint, all I worry about, it would be a very specific sequence, right? It would be the composition, it would be the values, then maybe some detail planning, maybe some sort of iteration in that part. And then once we clear that, we go into colors. We only care about the colors. And then we can use as many marker and airbrush and whatever effect that we want. Then we come in and find edges. That should be the smoothest one. Which I've heard people say before, but I guess it's kind of different. Just hearing people say it. Now I kind of get like what the study is for. I mean, I guess I've always understood what it's for, but I don't know, something feels different. No, wait, it's not about understanding, it's about convincing myself to do it. It's probably that, actually. Yeah, it's nice. Nice colors though, nice concept. Like the city concept. I think the story is pretty... Wait. Did they get more like wait, hang on. Did the scene get more fuzzy over time? Because the edges here feels a little bit less clear, even though they're kind of still like, you know, you can still tell that this is ending here. The original feels so much cleaner. Like the first one feels so much cleaner. Am I gonna see this in my Hong Kong thing that I want to do? You're gonna get like really polished pieces in the front. At the end, it's just all color blobs, dude. Oh my god. The edges here feel cleaner with all of these. Maybe it's just a value contrast, but here it's a bit more fuzzy, some of the shapes. Actually, I don't know what the... Is this meant to be clouds? Will clouds still form if you build that high? Like if you have a whole city at that height, wouldn't the clouds just form higher? Because it's a specific temperature zone, right? Where it works. If your city is kind of high, I think it generates a lot of heat, but Oh, the characters, the values here are interesting. They're like so clearly silhouetted against the background here. Even the character in the distance. Even the character that's furthest away from us, under such strong light source, still has this very... Because I would have put a bunch of bloom and glow around here. Time of day. No, I feel like it's just in general... Oh, misclick. In general, it feels like it wouldn't be able to form at this height. Like this close to like the cities. Because cities give off a lot of heat. And it's just going to evaporate this and send the clouds higher up. They will form a little bit higher up, I think. But I don't know how it works. Not a cloud guy. I don't know what they're called. But let me see. What's the latest stuff? Is it this? No, it's not this either. But yes, thank you for the daily, Uni. This is very nice. Oh, is it this one? Dang it. I could have sworn I've seen some of these before, though. Oh, this is nice. It's got like a faint kind of triangular shape underneath, and then it's got like the hard edge scratchings on top. Find the edges. I need to get some mileage on that. Maybe it's this one. Because I thought I've seen this before. I like the gray. The orange and the gray has always been my favorite color combination for like a longest time. This is the color theming that I have for that the one character that died. Probably see more of that color down the line, I hope. If we get there. Neuron activated, to be honest. See, this nonsense here with the clouds, I have confidence in painting. Because it's like just using that square brush, you're painting, erasing, painting, erasing. If I just swap the square brush out with something with maybe with like a custom tip of like, maybe one side is curved, one side is a square or something, I don't know. That we can do like this big white shape. Actually, what was the... But yes, thank you, Yini. Good stuff. I'm gonna take a look. I remember they had like the explosion thing somewhere. Way down. Yeah, this one here. This one is a lot clearer, I guess. Yeah, just right. They're getting more and more risque, but like this artist has a lot of clean shapes, so I think it'd be a good study. Some of the these shapes here, hair as well, be nice. Clouds, explosions. To repivot slightly. I feel like I'm still pivoting a lot. Like I'm still changing like what I'm doing quite a lot. but I think for once, like they all feel like they're properly building towards like a more tangible project rather than just a. This is AI, right? Like rather than just like a very sort of vague idea of getting better. Because now everything seems to be. I'm trying to target the Hong Kong thing. It's no different from just like trying to get better in general, anyways. But it just feels a little bit more concrete. Let me keep this just in case I need this. Is there anything useful here? Oh, it was this, right? Did I hit it? No, I didn't hit it. Oh, that's Thorn's dance, of course. Oh yeah, that is painted, right? This is painted. Hey, that's nice. It is noise indeed. Hmm. Right, but right now I need shapes. The value is I figured it out before. There's two sets of them that can work. Is it LM7? I think. Kind of feels like it. This is AI. LM7. Alright. Alright, after all that, coming back to this, yeah, the contrast doesn't feel as impressive anymore. Is it getting really loud? Slightly loud. Where's my stuff here? Oh, I guess I kind of kept this adjustment thing on the whole time when I was doing this. In the beginning, it wasn't there yet. It's fine. I need shapes. Shapes from bottom. No, but I'm adjusting it as based on the thing. So what is the main... What is the main one here? It is kind of the glow. Barely noticeable. Oh, everything else takes over. Just the markers for now. Not enough confidence to commit. I don't really know what I'm painting right now. I guess there is some kind of bottom like light here, as I decided that there's like some kind of reflected light, and I just do that for now. Screen is killing me. Oh my god, my screen is actually killing me, dude. Every second it's doing it. Alternating. Bottom up. I guess this does need a little bit of cleanup here. Dang, I forgot what that word was. Actually, I still don't really know what that word is. Marquee. Is it marquee? Is it just mark? English is just like a horrible abomination of a language because it's like taking from so many different things. And you have so many exceptions to how words are pronounced. Goku Gaga. I don't know what's going on with this. You just go like that same, I suppose, but like this. Yes. Yes, 100%. Fuck. Alright, now I'm gonna start writing shit again. Hang on a second. My god, what did we try? I think we... Maybe this is still easier to write with this. Let me see. Let's say marker. Color rough. Into render. Sequence. Does the Chinese have loan words? I think they're infinite vocab characters. I'm sure they do. I just don't have a. No, I know they do because I've seen some, but I'm not using them daily, so I can't quite remember them. Yeah, but English, yeah. What was the word rebracketing? Is it rebracketing? Seeing the same word as a different morphological decomposition. This is not quite related, but it's also kind of related. It's not the same thing, but it's kind of related. Like, I think the word that I remember was ammunition. Because I think originally it was munitions, and then the French would add a la, right? Like le munitions or something like that, and then people hear it and then they're like, oh, ammunition, and then it became that. It became ammo afterwards or something. I can't quite remember, but anyways, it's a huge mess. I think everything is a huge mess. It's cool though, I guess. Like you have a. Language is alive, right? Language is as alive as the people that's using them, so it just changes daily. So it just slowly changes. Actually, one of the things about getting old is that like you kind of see like words that you feel like the people are using wrong, but then like the definition has been changed by like society or by the general population to mean the new thing rather than what it meant to you in the beginning when you first learned it, like maybe like a couple decades ago or something. Yeah, like I think in Japanese, like modern day conventional Japanese, it's just impossible to avoid English words. Like native people would have difficulty not using English borrowed words because it's just impossible to. And like me and my friends when we speak as well, sometimes it's just easier to express an idea in a different language because they have a word for it. The main sequence. Yeah, break the way to find the shapes. If the shapes of the generals and the outline, which is fine. Right, the only reason why this makes sense is because we could already do that without issue. And this is only overall Silho Ed, I think it was. We had a whole conversation about this on stream, I kind of forgot how it's spelled again. Just Silho Ed? Okay, anyways, this one is music's kind of too broken up. Too much contrast in my music. It's drawing too much attention. That's why all the lo-fi stuff is nice. It's just kind of constant. Along with all the piano pieces. This and that. Even though there are more movement, like in the notes. Yomi no Tsukai, they pretend like it's still before. That's interesting, right? That's very interesting. They have TV variety shows or something like where they tell you can't use it or something. Yomi no Tsugai. It's kind of, is this ironic? But it's interesting because like the terms that's used in the anime title, Yomi no Tsugai, I think the words like themselves are also kind of like a little bit old or something. Wait, is this a, wait, hang on. Ah, これ関係ないや。yum yum yum. What does Tsugai mean in this case? Is it just a name? I wonder if it's like an old term for something. But it is written in katakana, so maybe not. Sure, anyways, it's the author. Oh, okay. That's interesting. It didn't click until you mentioned it. It does look very similar. Oh, yeah, the art style is very similar. Sorry, I'm not even painting anymore because I'm just looking at this. I'm trying to consolidate a little bit of information here. Kimetsu no Yaiba. Well, I mean, it's kind of close though, right? Actually, I'm not 100% sure Yaiba is meant to mean fang or does it mean sword? Oh, blade or sword, I see. Oh, wait. Fang is Kiba, right? Kiba. Right. Right. Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting here now. I'm just kind of thinking now. I don't feel like painting. I don't know what to do right now. Oh man. So at least with this exercise, I kind of have an idea of what the gap is. It is still just the shapes. I guess that makes sense. I thought, yes, like I think earlier in this week, I was thinking that maybe the process was kind of messing up because if I did a whole bunch of rough shapes, let me find it. Do I have it even? I think, right. I think this one's kind of similar. Was it that something else? Oh yeah, no, it was this one, right? The rough stuff, and I was kind of not enjoying sort of cleaning up the edges because it feels like I'm looking at a mess of stuff. So I thought it was because I did it messy first. And I did it messy because it was easier to set up colors that way. So it's got its benefits and downsides. But the downside I realized is not really a downside because it's just a skill gap, right? And the skill gap is just that I don't know the shapes. So that was that process. We have this A stat, which is a problem. Then I thought that maybe it's because I started with this. So why don't we get like big shapes set up first? But even then, I'm only setting up the silhouette shapes, which I can set up because we do the sketching and stuff like that. We do the planning and the clump. That's what we're planning, right? So we do have that. But I didn't really solve the problem, which is still here. So even if the colors, we kind of can accept it. I'm still having issues trying to figure out what this part is here specifically. So I think this can be solved with this. That would be that. So that's one complete train of thought right there. The other one that I was opening up was just like this kind of style where you have a little bit more sort of painting kind of artifacts, either put in deliberately or left over. I'm wondering how this fits into the bigger picture. Because let's say your color rough here, if you use a bunch of rough brushes, kind of like the artist that Uni recommended today, you will see about that one scene, then we would end up with these rougher edges, right, that can be just left in there. Like all these rougher edges that can be just left in there. That could be part of the color rough process. Oh, but I mean, doesn't matter, right? We could always edit in at the end too. If I keep the stages, if I really want to be super clear about the stages, then the stage 1 could be only soft edges. Oh, no, not soft edges. Only just like a simple round or square brush with opacity setting, so we can set up colors and only focus on colors. That should, yeah, actually no, that makes more sense. Then I don't muddy the responsibilities here. We only tackle color. Then when we find the edges here, we could use the thing, right? So we could even have multi-stage here. So it could be even multi-stage like this. And then over here, there could be plus more textures. And I guess because like the responsibilities are even more split right now, this texture responsibility will be different from this. Because this responsibility is specifically more about the material, I think. Or some of the forms, right? Like maybe there's like more of that. But this responsibility might just be noise. But it's also kind of backwards, I think, because these textures that I like right now are placed that they have to be done at the end. You need to know what color they are, and you need to bleed across all the edges that you have painted already. So it would just be like a plus, like another set of textures again. Be like that. So now if I can see the structure here, and then of course like there's like other stuff in the front, which is like the main comp, story comp, detail comp, value comp, perspective, anatomy, like all of these things have to be clear before we get to the stage here. Well, maybe not detail comp necessarily, but value needs to be clear. And then this will be the pipeline over here. So do we have issues here? Yes, right? I need references here. I need to know what the overall structure is. That's part of what we struggle with for the most of the week here. Silhouette setting up is not really a problem. There is some balance and sort of calm ideas in here, I guess, but like for the most part, I think that's not really too big of an issue at this point. So this is just one example. And then the color rough here is just an extension of this. So if you can do this, if you have value structure references for this, this shouldn't be a problem. So primarily it's this A part, and then the texture and stuff, these are all adjacent, like sort of icing on the cake things. So maybe this is what we need to tackle right now. Specifically that. Just need to get more comfortable with more shapes and forms that I like. Color and stuff, we just have to be more aware of the gap and skill, and then just find color references, because it's a lot easier to find agreeable colors rather than agreeable shapes, I think. So far, I think across all of the references and stuff that I've seen, it's definitely a lot easier to find stuff that like, oh shit, yeah, the colors are really nice, versus like a piece that is just like, oh man, this rendering is super duper agreeable. There's only like the rendering is like super amazing, but not necessarily something that I want to do myself, right? But then the colors, that I feel a lot more like, it's more often that I feel like I like the colors and I want to do it myself. So I think the biggest gap here that we must address is the shapes. And that sets out the priority. I think that's a little bit more... Yeah, because like colors are nice, but the rendering is not quite there for me. Actually, what's my rendering? There's still a lot more here. Wait, hang on. Where's the number? Did I not... Oh no, I can see it here, I think. Where's the view all? 1497. Only an 800 over here. That's interesting. But this is collected over years, right? So like a lot of the things that I used to like also don't like anymore. Yeah, like I think like I should do some studies of this. Because there's a lot of colors here. That's fine. But then if I were to choose a shape from this shape, what would I choose? If I use photographs, it might be kind of tricky. because photographs you have way too much color and texture and noise and shapes. Whereas if you look at like artists that has like big shapes like this, it might be a bit easier to study. It's a lot less things to abstract out. Do I have a... I do have a grayscale. I think splitting sky, this part in the light, this part in the shadow, that part is not a problem. Over here would just be, this is a patch. This is a patch. Yeah, like these shapes would be interesting to be aware of. These guys here, these guys here. The colors are... Oh wow, okay, wow, that's interesting. The colors are just entirely invisible. Usually there is like at least some amount of value difference, but in this case there are none. It is really just the same exact value. Bumped up. Is this what was this? Rendering? I think there is a oh, but I think you might roast the thing, right? Is it not? It checks similarity based on a subset of pixels, I think it was. Oh, yeah, I forgot. That thing is carried through. Yeah, like the skirt, the fabric, the hair. Do I have anatomy right now? Oh, but I need to set up the... So the lighting is kind of dark. Yeah, this thing is still kind of crap at serving as a reference lookup. I mean, why would it be any better than before? Because I didn't even change it. But like, anyways, it's the same as it was. Yeah, the lighting that we need is kind of right, see, this one's just kind of flat right over here. But that works, I guess, because you have noise here. Yeah, you have details here. Skin, I guess, is different. Where's the lighting in this one? On the back? But you can't really tell what's happening just from looking at this part of the clothing, though. Like it's Oh, what about this? Where's the lighting coming from? Over here. Like, you see, like, there's like light here, and there's like light here, and light here. I don't know, like, if it's especially here, right? It should be darker. I guess you just want to separate it out. But I don't want to do that, right? Because I want to keep it quiet. What can I do here? I think it's just like the form shadows then, right? So it's just along the edges, mayhaps. So I could let me see. Color. I here body is over here. Can I just put in a bit and see what happens? What? No target. Oops. Would it be any different to the lines though? I'm just kind of going around the rims here. Let me pull the lines a little bit lower. Just along the edges for now. What the fuck is my layer? So here. God damn it. Okay. I see. I think that was a gap in my the way I think about things. Okay, so here's the play-by-play, right? So I started off with where's my lines? Let me get the thing knocked out. No, not you. Oh, actually you too, but so the play-by-play was just this, right? I'm looking at this thing. I don't know where the lights, like how the lights gonna work and all this and this and that. The thing that I came to mind that I could do was that I remember seeing man, how do I express this? Like I feel like, okay, so I don't know if this is necessarily true objectively, but I just feel like if you have an object, even if there's like nothing else, like no strong lighting per se, the edges there's like around the side here will be slightly darker because I think I mean, does it imply that there's like light on this side? I forgot where I saw this. Was it Mogun's course or something? But like something about the surface. Oh my god. Something about how the surface works. If you're viewing at this versus viewing at this angle, there's like more material here or something. But maybe this only applies for like objects that are translucent. I mean, it definitely applies for those objects. But what about other objects, right? Because suppose like if this is an opaque object, then you're seeing seeing here versus seeing here, it just depends on where the light source is, right? And how the light is gonna bounce. But would it one necessarily bounce more versus than the other? Versus than the other, versus the other? Because there is a, like, if you look at a round object, there is a highlight. That means this spot is bouncing the most amount of light to your eye. Because it's at the perfect angle, where the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection is the same. And what about the other regions then? It's not like they're not bouncing any light to your eye though, right? They're still bouncing light to your eye. And that's because of scattering then? So if you have an object that's perfectly specular, it's just a mirror finish. Makes sense, right? If the object is perfectly reflective and you have, let's say you have like a black void of space, you have a pure metallic ball here. There is one light source over here. There's a light source, oh my god. You have one light source over here and it's coming in. You only see that one spot that's perfect with the highlight, like that one highlight spot that's perfectly aligned to your eye. Shiny. Everything else here will be black void because there's no other light source here and this is perfectly reflective. So if you have, say, like a red billiard ball or something, you will still see the other areas because it's not perfectly reflective. Then, would that be the understanding then? I don't know, 8 or something? I don't know what ball. So you see like a spot that's super bright, but all the other areas will still be visible. Oh no, but that's also because the environment, I guess, is different. You think maybe like if this is a black void, I wouldn't see any of the other colors? Or maybe like I would still see some because... No, but why would I see any though? Because any light from this point source... we only hit, because this is radio, it's going everywhere, but only the lights, if the light hits at one spot, it's going to go somewhere else, right? It's not going to come to my eye, so only one spot would be lit still. Yes, the virus. What am I doing this for again? I kind of forgot. Sorry, yeah, no. Let's just go off with my sort of not so great understanding, right? In any case, the skin is kind of translucent. It's kind of like a little bit translucent, right? That's why the subsurface scattering and this and that. So what I've remembered in the past, someone saying something like this. is that like you can kind of add a bit of darker color along the edges because you're technically going through more material here. Again, you know, this is probably based off of stuff that I misremembered and I misunderstood, but that was what I was doing. That's why I was doing this. I was just trying to get the edges around there done. And then in doing so, I was thinking of this as like form shadow, quote unquote. Like I was thinking of this as like a shadow because of the form, because these are circular round forms, and along these edges you have more material there, or like because the surface is curving away from you, therefore you have this sort of difference in color. But then like after I did this, I took a step back and thought about it, right? Like, so the original problem was that we have this issue where we can set up color rough, but I cannot render it. And that gap is, the underlying issue is because I don't know what kind of shapes to render. I don't know what kind of shapes I would like to render. But then the underlying issue of that isn't necessarily just because of the lack of experience, but because I didn't really understand what the shapes are for, I guess. I've always thought of the shapes as just for shadows. But that's not true, right? Because we are perceiving everything in 3 different values, right? Like 3 different numerical values: the value, the hue, and the saturation. The value, which is what the shadow contributes to primarily, is only one of those. So if you have different colors too, then they will also cause different shapes to be there, which you have to render in. So now I think I should do studies that can help me sort of... I need to keep this in mind when I'm doing the study. I don't think the study that I would like to do is any different, because you are, at the end of the day, still trying to extract out the shapes from like given reference, right? With like the multi... Like, let's say you take a reference, you only do black and white, but then your black and white, you only choose like 2 or 3 different levels of black and white, and then you have to stylize and decide what goes into each bucket, essentially. But in that process, I have to just be aware of the fact that like sometimes I'm choosing it because there's a shape there because of a shadow, but sometimes I'm doing it because there's some change in local color, or maybe there's some change in form, or this and that. I think I need to be a bit more aware of why the shape is there. And that will help me hold on to the knowledge a bit more, I think. Might have to, that's kind of what I'm doing here with the thing. So how the value differences arise and how the color differences arise. So in this case here, I don't really get it. What's happening? If you have a strong light source, I get it. You have a shadow that's being cast either by something else onto your object, your target, or by the target itself, right? Having undulations on the surface, whether if it's like the arm, whether if it's the chest, whether if it's like textures on the material. Right, but that's only one half of the thing. The other half would be if there's any changes in color. So stuff like Terminator would be a different idea, right? Like I always just kind of paint it in as a matter of fact. I always just kind of think of it as just a property of the shadow. I mean, strictly speaking, everything is just because there is light, right? Like your eyes only see light if I want to argue it at the end of the day. But then yeah, like the shadow is one shape that goes in because of all these form changes. The Terminator is there because there's a difference in color that's as a result of the material properties of it. And then like maybe some more comes from the geometry, which is form, which is the same thing. Oh, I see. The thing that I'm trying to figure out, I guess, is that so you have cast shadows, right? Like, I think that's easy to understand. You have the shadow for as a result of the form itself, right? If oh my god, like light comes in because of the form, you're gonna get that shadow. But then what if light isn't from one direction and it's like from all directions, equally strong from all directions? What would you see then? Would I see a perfectly colored circle like with one color only? Or would I still see some like edges around it? Is what I'm wondering right now. I'm not 100% clear on what the idea of a form shadow is. If an object is in equally bright, like in a space that has light from all sources, like all directions, equally strong, arriving at the surface, what do I see? Is there any value in finding the answer to this question? I think I'm just trying to understand like how it works better, I guess. You don't necessarily need that like specific answer, I think. With enough study and experience and like practice, you just kind of like know what feels good and looks good. So you intuitively know the answer, but maybe not explicitly. I mean, we could always just go and hop in Blender or something and just set it up. I don't have the skills to do that at this point. There's going to be a lot of work to figure that out for now. So as simple as it is, I think it's interesting. What is a form shadow? Yeah, this other thing about priority was also interesting. Like in the beginning, I got really confused about like what happens if you have two cast shadows on the same object. What is supposed to happen, right? But I think it's just very much tied to the light source, right? If it's the same source casting the two shadows that overlap, then it would just be one merged shape. But if it's two light sources, then you would see the negative, like you see the other color in the other shadow, if that makes sense. But light shining perfectly, there'll be no shadows on the ball. It will be a solid color. It'd be like a perfectly solid color. Would there be anything along the edges though? I suppose if the material was translucent. No, but it's even though, right? It's like completely even though, right? Anyways, it's both used, both neither. What is this form shadow? So form shadow is still just cast shadow by the object itself. Then. By my definition of it, like, because you're just like the bump on the eyebrow, for example, is just casting a shadow on itself on the same face. Also DeviantArt, hello. So ambient light here, I think is I feel like it's very confusing because everyone's kind of using all these different terms that may or may not mean the same thing when used by different people. Ambient light, I would, yeah, like because I feel like there's a clarification here. Ambient light is just a secondary light source in this case, right? Like, it's not necessarily that it has to be ambient light, but then if you see anything in the cast shadow of the primary light source, it's because there's a secondary light source that's casting that light. That doesn't necessarily have to be ambient. It could be like another, I think, spotlight. You know, all of those things could be fine. It's just because ambient light is now kind of like slightly tangential, I guess. It's kind of like orthogonal. Ambient light could also be the primary light source, could it not? If that's the only thing. But does that make sense though? Maybe language-wise it doesn't make sense. Anyways. I got really confused, I think. Sometimes I was just reading like other people's explanations because I didn't really know enough, no experience to go off of. And then the language, I feel like sometimes it means different things. Everything is in darkness, so universal shadow and just light. Which one is? Right. No, I like that, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. That's the best way to go about it. You put in one light source at a time, right? It's just that, like, because it's not as simple as just like I'm not saying like what you're saying is as simple. I'm just saying that it's the light does so many more things, right, with the material. And it gets really confusing to try to parse them at the same time. Because at its core, it's just one light source and one object. And the presence of this light source causes different things to be seen. And these things that are different being seen will have different values and different colors and different hues and saturation. And because we are seeing changes in these three values, numerical numbers, that's why we have to paint in these different shapes. But then because of material properties, because of local color, things get more tricky. It would be nice to have like a comprehensive list that just goes down, because I'm sure there is one, right? Like rendering engines only work in all these like 3D because someone can program everything in. No, actually, no, never mind. Forget it. I don't think they program it that way. They're just doing math at the very, very, very core level. And emulating all of these effects as a result of that. Not necessarily because they're putting each one manually, I think. Now you see how people render like the darker edge over there, but I guess it's not necessarily because that is dark, but because this is brighter. Okay, so not okay. I see. So like how do I say this? Very simplistically, we have light and we have shadow, right? And then we have reflected light coming off. Like light is falling off, right? So it's a distance to light, so it's intensity to light, right? So within the light part, you have distance to the light source. You still have a distance to the light source, and it's falling off. So that's why you have this sort of darker edge here. Because of the geometry, because of the distance, physical distance perhaps to the light source, this part is receiving more light. So the light that's coming in is stronger, it interacts it strongly. Hello, Kirio. And you see like a different value, and therefore now there's a different shape that you want to paint it. So that's one thing. And then, but this thing is still in the light, and this thing is still brighter than this because it's still receiving more light than this. It's just receiving more or less light. Okay, fine. That's the core of it. That makes sense. Sorry, I feel like some of these things I probably already know. I don't know why I'm getting confused now. But like, right, so the value, the shadow stuff and the light stuff, I cannot think of it as just binary. Okay, yeah, maybe it's because we're trying to set up the binary thing. I don't know. Kind of confusing. Understanding is one thing, doing is one thing, but then if I'm not clear about which order the ideas should go, it gets a little bit like tied up in the loop. Because when I paint, I think of what is in the light and what is in the dark, right? But then even those that is in the light, in real life it's not binary, right? Real life is a spectrum. So those in the light will still have like darker spots because they are slightly further away or bent away. That makes sense. So if I do like a value study where I have only 3 colors I can use, I will have to decide where to draw the line, where to put in that threshold. In this world that is analog, I need to set up the binary steps. Or like however many steps there are, but... I love how effective light is also always close to ambient. Reflective light. Oh, you mean like this here? That's right here, right? It's coming in. And then, but the ambient occlusion is right there. Okay, I kind of get like why you know, people paint all those grave forms now. I mean, I always understood that's why they do it, but I understood why like those stupid ass gray shapes. Yeah, these ones. Anyways, it's so weird. I feel like I understood all of these things. But it's another thing to kind of like get stuck and then rediscover it. But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. Anyways, because I briefly mentioned this before, where I signed up for this drawing class, and the dude was pretty good, right? The dude was really good at doing like sort of realistic paintings of like fruits and shit. He's won awards for it. I was not impressed. But the problem with that is that he always tried to get me to just draw, sit down in front of the easel, hold a pencil the fine art way, and just draw shapes like these. But he never really explained what I was drawing. He never once explained like, hey, there are these different regions in the shadow. He never really explained that. And I think he's probably doing it on purpose, because he needs to keep people there to make a living. But that's just my very biased take. Given all the evidence that I've seen otherwise, like outside of just the art stuff. But I think I should revisit this exercise, but this time being a lot more aware of like what's happening. So all the different forms. Oh, like this is bright, like shadow versus light, and then it's falling off because there's this like edge over here that's closest, or like it's reflecting the light the most perfect angle. And this edge is darker because it's reflecting away from me, not necessarily because it is not in the region that's. But then again, what is a region lit by light? If the light is being reflected away, then it's not being lit by light from me, right? From my point of view. Huh, so it is the shadow then. Is that the shadow then? Wait, is this the shadow then? No, that's the shadow. But this is also in the shadow. That would be form shadow. Right, that makes sense. So we have form shadow on the form, and then cast shadow on some other form. Cast by shadow form A onto form B. Oh, that's what they mean by form and cast shadow. Because I always thought like this shadow here is just the same as it's still just cast shadow. It's cast by the form onto itself. I mean, sure. I mean, I could define form shadow to be that then, right? And shadow is just a superset. Okay. So we worked this out, right? Like, okay, working this out again. So when it comes back to like really, really fancy shit, now we have to contend with color changes. Sorry, we have to first contend with multiple light sources. And then there is like the effects from, yeah, okay, so the shadows from each light source, oh my god, yeah, it's pretty complicated, right? Because for every light source, there's a strength, there's a color, that's kind of it, I guess, and a direction. I guess that would be the core properties of a light source. And we have multiple light sources. And then we have changes in local color. Everything that the primary shines on becomes a secondary as well. Okay, let's see. Okay, so like, obviously this is very complicated. I'm not just gonna be able to learn by just thinking and talking about it, right? But I'm just trying to frame it so that I know what I should think about when I actually try to break it down to different shapes. Because I remember people always say you have to like think about what that light, where the light is coming from. So we just kind of have to do that. And be like, if I'm painting this shape, oh, it's from the primary light source here, right? That's it. That's pretty much it. But if I'm painting this shape here, then it maybe it's like some kind of subsurface scattering. I mean, it's feathers. I don't know if that technically counts. I guess it could be subsurface scattering. Maybe it's just the light peeking through. Like maybe the feathers are thinner here. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but actually, why is the difference between subsurface scattering and just light peeking through the gaps? Isn't that kind of fundamentally the same, which is just light coming through? Oh, I guess the difference is whether if it passes through a material, right? Because if it did pass through a material, the light would then therefore carry the properties of the material. So I can kind of think of that as that the not necessarily light passing through, but the light hitting onto a material and the light and the material itself becoming a secondary source of a slightly different and weaker, much weaker color. Sorry, like much weaker strength. Right, yes, the virus. Yeah, that's perfect, yeah. Onsen is a light source, right? It absorbs the light and then it re-emits it in a different color because there's some interaction. And now, of course, like in art, you have to contend with like random colors. Like I don't know what this is from. Like where is this from? This is like all the way like behind over here, right? So this, by all accounts, should just be pretty dark here, unless you have like bounce light maybe from here, maybe from here or something. But like this is, you know, just artistic choice, right? So. Right, yeah, it's just like supposed to be a rim light setup, but you have all of the additional light here. In order for this to have something to look at. Yeah, it is it's very hard to contend with, like this idea of being artistic. Like there must just be like I need rules, right? I need rules to think about stuff, to break to emulate it, to do it again. But yeah, right now it's just a mess. But okay. So let's say I do a black and white study of this, right? And with only limited values, maybe 3 or 4 values. I would have to be very aware of why a thing is in one bucket and not another bucket. In one value group and not the other value. So I might put this bright spot and like the face in the same value group. Actually, I don't know why the face is so bright either. Because it's not like the light can pass through the skull and be so bright. So this is also kind of artistic. let's say this value here and this value here is in the same group. One is from a direct result of the primary light source, right? But just with a stronger color, like a light fall off, a more artistic, like also artistic choice, I guess. Whereas the other one is just purely just magic. But they're both in the same group. And that's fine. So what am I gleaming from the study then? I'm trying to understand. Value studies' main goal is to get the values balance and stuff like that. And as a counter and as sort of adjacent artifact, you get to see the shapes that are being painted in. So one is the overall comp, because value is very tied to comp. Not that the other ones are not, but value is most. And then you have this. The skirt lights, I just feel like it's kind of impossible for this part to have a subsurface, because the source is over there and her thighs and her body should just be blocking that. But I think it's fine. It's right, yeah, this part right here. This is the part that's actually in the light. I think just by virtue of the fact that that part is like those colors are not being used here. Because subsurface can only happen if it's like along the terminator here, right? Like at most I would expect it underneath between these two colors it would be here. Yeah, but Indeed. That is what they would have used, I guess, if they were to actually put it at where it's supposed to be. But I guess you just moved it here so that's more interesting, right? More visually interesting. That's fine. I'm just trying to think about like this idea of like path that I want to walk. This idea of like studying the shapes. I'm sure it will help for sure, just by being aware of some of these shapes, even if I didn't understand what was happening at all, just from pure experience of grinding it out. So that's fine. Yes, good night, Uni. Thank you for coming. I should probably go too, but it's just very interesting because I'm looking at each one of these and I'm just thinking about doing the actual value study right now. Yes, thank you for the blessings. Yeah, but as I'm painting all the shapes up in my head, no, but like the sequence is there, right? It exists. I just need to break it down some more. My definition must be in there, right? Otherwise, like, what am I looking at? I have to be looking at something. Okay, now that's fine, right? That sequence is fine. So problem statement is actually that's interesting. I split it up really clearly between color rough and render. And then I only delegated the shape issue to render, but that's not true, right? Because like I do need to have some idea of the shadow and this and that. Oh no, it's different, The requirements are different, right. Because I do have to, in order to do color rough successfully, I need to put in shadow colors too. I need to put in all the different colors I want to put in. So it's not exactly like I don't need to think about the color, the shadows and stuff. But the biggest difference is that I don't have to have a very tight edge and form. And the shapes, they don't have to be tight. They can be loose. They just need to suggest something for me to tune the colors. And then only later on we have to go in and clear the edges. So it is still possible to split them clearly like this. And then when I study, I just need to figure out the edges. And then for these areas, I have to split them up some more. Is that right? That's true. Is that true? Dang, I am so indoctrinated by the anime hair highlight thingy. I just see it all. I don't notice it anymore. It's actually so hard to see it. I am trying really hard to think about this, like whether if this, because I feel like I've come up with these ideas for studies so many times now, right? Like I have no idea how many we've like thought out that it will work and it's the best way forward for me to try it and then give up later, either because I ran out of patience or because it didn't work as well as I thought it was going to. And of course, like over the course of like the 300, 400 streams, I think like it's getting better in the sense that like both I am still gleaming some experience. That's number one. Number two, I also kind of get a better idea of what might or might not work. And because of previous failures, it's a bit easier to sort of rule out some ideas, I think, is what I like to think, honestly. I'm just trying to see right now, right? If I pick this idea of doing this black and white study, under the assumption that it can help me solve this part of the problem, assuming that this is the problem that we are facing right now that's causing us to get stuck, right? Would I actually learn something that can help me push myself forwards right now? And so it's what I'm doing when I'm looking at this. I feel like talking is all I do sometimes, honestly. Like, anyways, it's very hard for me to have faith in something that I cannot see the full path in. I need to understand why it can help me before I can do it. Before, I think we were a bit more naive because I just wanted to. I figured that, you know, even if it isn't the best process or actually teach me what I want to know, there's just so much that we don't know that anything is going to help us, right? Anything is going to give us something, and it's still the case right now. But I think right now it's a slight change in sort of requirements and situation. If we have some bare minimum amount of anatomy skill, for example, of like being able to copy colors from reference, then they're much less of a priority to make something happen for myself, like something more original. If rendering is the problem, we should super target rendering. So I'm just trying to make sure that this actually helps us target rendering. And I want to understand why it would help us target. Why would it help me target rendering? Just because I can extract shapes from the thing, it doesn't necessarily mean I have a good understanding of it, right? It's just that I can extract colors from just copying the reference. I cannot fully understand. So there is some more thinking that is involved besides the doing. And I think so far, like in all the studies that I've done, I don't really do a lot of thinking when I'm doing the study. I only do thinking after, like right now, I'm just talking about stupid shit. So yeah, I'm trying to make sure that like going next week or come next week when I start doing this again, of coming up with a plan and trying to follow through a bit, I want to think correctly so we can actually learn more out of it than just like the pure experience from grinding and just being able to do stuff because it felt right. I think that's kind of, it's fine, I suppose, but it's not very in control, you know, like. So yeah, I want to think about the colors. So if I'm splitting them up into shapes, so coming back just to wrap this up, if I were to do a study, I'm trying to study the shapes because that's what I feel is the lacking part. So if I'm splitting the shapes, I need to be aware of why the shape exists. Is it existing because it's, you know, a different set of hue saturation value because it's being hit by the light? Or is it because maybe because of the primary light source, maybe because of the secondary light source, maybe it's just because you need that in order for the art to look better. That's fine too. Maybe it's because there is subsurface scattering. Maybe it's just because the artist wanted more colors, you know, like over here. I don't know what's happening here, but right, if we want to emulate this, if we get down to this level of resolution in the values and I'm putting it in, I want to just be aware of that's why I'm putting it in. That's why it's there. And maybe I'm still missing something, but I feel like this would be a little bit more in control, like more sort of broken down and more to glean from it. No, Curio, I'm not saying anything here is necessarily subsurface scattering. I'm just giving examples of like, I just want to break it down clearly. I don't know, like at this blue, are you talking about this blue here? I think that's just because of like the light source is kind of cold and they want the color fall off to make it look cooler. So it's not as bright, it's still in the light, directly in the light. Over here is just probably noise. All these things are just probably noise. The specific balance, I think, like the artistic sense to put this specific shade of blue here so that it balances everything out, I think that's an entirely different problem. That I think is more of a color rough problem and a color composition problem. So that would be done somewhere else separately, I think. Primarily, I just want to look at shapes, I think. Shops. Skin render? That is interesting. Let me think about this, right? I feel like... But skin, for the most part, is just basic forms, right? Like, it's just more basic cylinders and stuff. Even textures are very, very rare. The textures I've seen on skin are primarily due to just an artistic style on the overall, like overall as a whole. Not because it's like skin. It's because like the artist just likes using rough brushes. I never thought about studying skin because like the only reason I figured that it would be necessary if you're doing like super realistic kind of renders where you need like a lot of purple and a lot of greens to emulate the veins and this and that. That's why I never did any. Cause yeah, like the anime stuff don't really require it. Whereas materials, I guess there's like a more of a place to shine, maybe? On that specific lighting. Oh, sorry, I don't actually know what I really want. The main reason why I pulled this one up, this one is unrelated by the way. This one I added because I was just looking through my references and I was reminded of the fact that I really like this because of all these textures and stuff going around. But that's not really related. This one here, I grabbed it because I just wanted to see the values and the glow specifically. Not necessarily because like there's actually like no render. It's like almost flat. I think okay. Anyways, I do have to go, but crap. I don't know what's going on. Let me delete my PNG tuber and get out. Oh, hello, Duvet. Oh, we're doing it now. Yum, yum, yum. Alright, so I need to do the breakdown and then I need to be aware of the shapes. Be aware of the reason why the shapes exist, right? And that will tie the shapes into a specific... Okay, that's cool. Okay, it will tie the shapes into specifically the lighting situation along with the setup and all of the important things that we need to be aware of for the lighting, for those shapes to work and exist. And then that would probably be... Oh, it's not loots, it's just let me grab it. I don't think they do loots. They just do like this pairing a lot. Oh wait, do they even... Interesting. Because I see the style change a lot, if I remember correctly, like in this account, and I thought they might just be reposting other people's stuff, but I guess they do their own thing, and it just kind of changes quite often, perhaps. But anyways, yeah, this one is just that. Right, yeah, like speaking of like the skin render copy thing, I figured that those things are only probably necessary if you're drawing like this kind of stuff, where your requirements are a lot higher. Oh, I'm gonna start playing over here. Weird. Rough brush strokes. Finding the thing. You're right, yeah, so the color rough is done in rough strokes and then you go in and clean it up. Clean up the shades with more. And then over here, I guess it's just a scale issue. Just paint. Get the colors there and then just find the edges. Oh, I am struggling to render. Not necessarily, it's mostly a form thing. I guess I don't fully understand two things. Where the light is coming from, and also what the form specifically is like. I guess I kind of get it. You know, I can kind of see the ribcage somewhere here. Actually, looking at this, the belly button is kind of low. Like, this torso is kind of long. But, yeah, maybe it's more of a light source thing. At least with a light source, I can kind of guess with the shapes. But, like, I don't really know what the light source is. It's coming from everywhere. It feels like. If it's coming from everywhere, does that mean it's coming from nowhere? Does that mean that I don't have to paint anything? You know? Do I just put one giant gradient and call it a day? But it feels too, like, incomplete if I just do that, too. So that's why I was kind of stuck, for the most part. What is this texture that I'm looking at? It looks like it's... Like, how do I say this, right? It's like very broken up and very specific. So it feels like it's something that you have to paint in, or it's a pattern brush that has very clear and hard edges. It's something that you put in very deliberately, but yet at the same time it's kind of fuzzy. Like that's like a blur that's being done on over it. Maybe it feels like a low... Oh, maybe it feels like a low quality photo texture. Looks like the surface of a peanut or something. Maybe they just drew it in. I see circles here. Those are clearly brushstrokes. Dang, dude, what is this rendering process like? What in the world, dude? There's like no way this is all hand painted, right? So, but there are some circles here that's hand painted. Dang, this is so good. Because it looks so disgusting, but it looks so good. I mean, that's why it's so good. The knuckles are all raw and stuff, and like the skin tone is like clearly like kind of dead. You know, like one of those YouTube shorts is like, I mean, like sometimes you see like YouTube shorts is asking you like for superpowers and stuff, like ideas. I would like to have a superpower where I can just see how long they took to paint it. Like how long did, like there's so many pieces out there that I just, like, hello? Like how long would this have taken? This is painted, right? Like it looks like 3D render. Like some of these areas. But like other areas are rough enough that it's probably not. And there's nothing else hinting at a 3D render, so... Is this a mixed medium thing? Like the face also looks kind of 3D, doesn't it, over here? Probably just like a scale thing. Is there like Jan 2020? What is this, a repost? Wait. Hello? My superpower? Is this a quality thing? Like, why is it so fuzzy? Yeah, it's just a scale issue. Lamo. Oh, okay, we're only here. Okay, I would think that this is kind of done. Like, this could be considered as, like, kind of done already. Only just started. It's 8K by 4K. At 72 ppi. Okay, that's probably how you can handle the file. Oh, yeah, I mean, like, it's nothing to this, I guess. You just get good. This is just years and years and years of study and getting good. Man. I mean, it's kind of... I don't feel discouraged looking at stuff like this. Because this is way above what I want to do. Right? And it's good to know that this is doable. just as a form of comfort. It's like, hey, look at this guy. This guy is like doing way crazier stuff. I'm not doing this crazy of stuff. You know? Surely... Wait, was there a dude there the whole time? Oh! What? Dang, dude, it's always been there. In the original, there's like a dude there. I didn't see the dude. No, dude, I mean like in the original. Like in the original post, there was always a dude here. I just never noticed. GG. God damn, dude. 4 years, 4 years ago, but I guess they just like, it's like old stuff maybe. Like, oh man, this doesn't. My superpower does not exist. Indeed, indeed. Maybe, okay, yeah, probably if we go into the like a Chinese social media, it's probably a little bit easier to tell the specific timings of each upload, and we can sort of extrapolate maybe how long. Like, it'll be the upper bound, right? Of how long it would have taken. Is there a date? Do they not have dates? What about here? Dang it, dude. It's telling me to log in. Of course, I don't have an account, so... Wait a second, what? It lets me see this anyways? Okay, now it's logging. Telling me to log in. I don't see like the ones we came here for. February 15. This is 2 months ago. 2 months before that. Don't know. I guess it could also be like an old repost, like a repost of an old thing. Let's see the main timeline. See, yeah. Anyways, thank you, Devay. I wanted to start playing by accident, so this is all clear, right? I'm just gonna close it then. Yeah, this is a skill check. Well, I gotta wrap this up. Need to do more studies, I guess. But this one in particular is more of a lighting problem. I don't know if any studies will actually help, you know, directly. We could, oh, I closed my rep already, but we could do the other one where like the values are just super dark and then we just keep the values and stuff here. The contrast low, right? Then there's less of a need to render anything in particular. Over here might just be big shapes and big gradients. Maybe I can just kind of get away with that. Yeah, no, I can explain more on Monday. It's getting a bit too late, but it's like a whole sort of like I think there's like 17 different pieces or something. Like so trying out different lighting, very minor differences each time. Anyways, the most important thing here is I would like to render the background a little bit. That is the most important thing. That's kind of why I did this. It's the main reason, I suppose. Anyways, did I still haven't posted this, have I? Anyways, doesn't really matter. Anyways, thank you guys for coming. I basically just talked for. I got stuck for an hour and a half, and then I talked for 2 hours. That's what today was. We're getting more and more like a streamer. Holy shit, I'm doing nothing, dude. God damn. Anyways, I'll see you guys on Monday. I gotta go to bed so I can wake up early tomorrow. I have like maybe a couple hours left. So have a good night. Thanks for coming. Goodbye.